So we went there.
You go there first,
and then,
after you pick up grandma.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
And then we put this prescription in.
Okay.
Which is like probably about like 10, 15 minutes.
Do you know what kind of drugs?
No, I have no idea. She wouldn't say the name to it.
Got it.
And then we handed a prescription. They said about like 10, 15. Well, it's gonna be 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
Well, we were saying the line was long.
Okay.
Because you have
who went inside the store?
Nobody went in. We went through the drive-thru.
Okay.
He's talking about the Walgreens drive-thru. Nobody went in the store. They set in a drive-thru. So the line was long. The wait was real long. Then he makes comment about a phone call that Candace receives while they're waiting in line.
Got it.
Drive-thru. And then while we were in the drive-thru, her husband calls her talking about this dude named on the property that's been there for like a week or so, she told me, that keeps stalking other kids.
Now this was prior to Summer's disappearance. This is why she is in the drive-thru with her mother, Summer, and H. She receives a phone call from her husband, Donald West. The conversation consisted of the man that had bought the property across the road and how he had been stalking kids the week before. Out of the blue, Hunter says that conversation, and he acted like he didn't really understand it, what it was about, but it was the scenario being played out at that point in time. It's kind of weird, ain't it? It's kind of weird. At this point, your child vanishes, you claim abduction, but not even hours earlier, you contact your wife. Apparently, you're supposed to be at work in Jonesboro, Georgia, or Jonesboro, Tennessee, pardon me, with the kids, which is confusing because the kids were supposed to be at the house cleaning, per Candace's story, and the kids were there whenever Candace brought Summer in the house for the last time before she vanished. And Don Wells was supposed to be in Jonesboro, 45 minutes away, after Summer disappeared, because that's when Candace called him and told him that their daughter had disappeared. And then Candace calls 911, and Donald West somehow was able to beat the police out to the house, per his words. But he's in Jonesboro with the kids. Explain to me how the kids could be at the house and in Jonesboro at the same time. Explain to me, without Donald Wells being in one of those situations. Who's lying?
Who's that?
Some dude named I have no idea who it was.
Okay. And why did Don call?
I have no idea. He just called. I don't even know if he was working at the time.
Okay.
But if he was...
Don't even know if he was working at the time. Remember, he said earlier that Candace told him that Donald had the boys with him in Jonesboro. But when he called this time, he didn't even know if he was at work or not.
Working, he obviously wouldn't know that there was some dude looking at the little kids.
So this dude named Don calls Candace
and tells her about, I don't know if his name is...
And tell me about that conversation.
All I heard was...
And how did you hear it?
I heard because I asked her why he called.
Okay.
The only thing that she told me from the phone call is that there was some dude, whatever it was, just the name.
Okay.
That's how I remember. Trying to, I guess she said touch the little kids. That's what I was told.
He's trying to have what?
Touch the little kids.
Touch the kids?
Like give them a hug or something.
What do you think? Do you think that's true?
I mean, it could be because she's had this, name was Billy, right? Yes, Billy. Billy was up there doing that stuff until he got arrested.
And Billy is the brother?
No.
The son?
No. Billy was an old drunk.
And he's what?
Now, who the hell is Billy? Billy was touching and feeling with kids. Billy was touching and feeling with kids. Billy was touching and fiddling with kids up at the house before he left. Billy. Who is Billy, folks?
He was an old drunk that was a friend of theirs that used to get in arguments with his wife.
And go
His
up to
wife
their
would
house.
kick him out, and he would go up there and sleep in one of the sheds on the property.
Got it. And who was Billy trying to touch?
Billy had the hots for grandma.
The grandma.
Got it. But what about the kids?
Oh no, he wasn't around the little kids. His mom wouldn't allow that. Who's her mom?
So why would Don, in your opinion, call Candace while you're in the line at Walgreens to say there's some dude on the property wanting to touch the kids? Help me understand that.
Okay, actually, sir, you're asking a 15-year-old to try to give you an analogy that only an adult should be able to figure out. But I agree with your question as far as asking somebody with a little bit more sense, but the question needs to be aimed toward Candace or Donald because he don't have a clue. But it's harsh when you hear from the mouths of babes the real truth, if this is truth. Seems like it'd be a little bit too far for him to reach by the way he talks. I don't know, I'm not saying I'm not going to down him or anything, but he is 15 years old. He sees worlds a little different than we do. But what I'm seeing is he's telling us the world we need to be looking at.
I mean, at first I thought because he calls her like every 2 hours because he works.
Okay.
I thought he was just doing his daily checkup.
Okay.
But then she told me about that. I was like, how does he even know that if he's supposedly working?
And what did she say?
I didn't say that. I was just saying in my mind.
And in your mind, what did you come to? What did you deduct?
Deduct? I thought that was just suspicious.
Really?
Yeah, and then later, when she called me and told me that happened, I was with my girl at the time, just hanging over in Bristol at a park.
Okay.
She calls me while we pull up to that park. This is that Summer's missing.
So who were you kicking it with at the park?
Oh, just my girl.
Okay, just...
All right, there you go with the scenario right there. It does not make sense to me either. It makes you damn skin crawl and makes you wonder what the hell happened. For them to set the stage. Set the stage. I'm going to leave it at that.